It's Wednesday, July 31, 2019, and this is Globespan 24x7 News. My name is Samuel Sukhnandan, coming to you live from Georgetown, Guyana. Here are the headlines for today. GECOM urges citizens to desist from threatening to stop. JAGDEO for the Department and bulletin suspect in SOPHIA murder probe. Government says $2.5 million solar system project slated for Akwini. And Guy prepares for 2019 emancipation celebrations. And now for the news in detail. The Guyana Elections Commission GECOM said it is in receipt of several reports of threats and intimidation from its field staff who are conducting house-to-house registration. Over the last few days, a number of enumerators were attacked and injured due to dog bites, which were instigated by residents who are allegedly not in agreement with the registration exercise, losing their dogs to attack the field staff. It was also reported that some persons are using threatening language, instilling fear and providing misinformation that the staff will not be paid for their service. As a consequence, the Commission has engaged the Guyana Police Force to provide surveillance in communities and to assist with the security of the field staff. The Commission is therefore urging citizens to desist immediately from what they said is unlawful and obscene acts, as they will be arrested and prosecuted. In addition, the Commission is reminding citizens that registration is a legal requirement and they have a responsibility to ensure that they are registered. Meanwhile, newly appointed chairwoman of the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, Justice retired Claudette Singh, met with commissioners appointed by the opposition. Attorney Says Gunraj, one of the commissioners, told the press that during the meeting, issues pertaining to the conduct of elections, house-to-house registration, and claims and objections were discussed. He described the meeting as cordial and said he looks forward to having meaningful discussions and debate with all the commissioners whenever the time comes to that meeting. The new GECOM chair was expected to meet with government-nominated commissioners later today to discuss those very issues and to listen to their concerns. These meetings are happening at a time when a case was filed in the High Court challenging the constitutionality of the house-to-house registration exercise. The hearing is set for Friday before Chief Justice Acting Roxanne George. The opposition People's Progressive Party staged another protest action against the government at the Ministry of the Presidency, the third of its kind in 1 month. But this time, the party supporters and members are calling for the administration to resign and call elections. Several high-ranking members of the PPP joined the action earlier today, and Globespan 24x7 News spoke with the party's presidential candidate, Irfan Ali, who expressed deep concern with the current state of affairs of the country, particularly as it relates to the economy and the people.
The country is in a state of chaos. The business community, residents, families, everyone are complaining. And look at this protest, the massive nature of this protest this morning. And I think the government ought to hear the message loud and clear now. The government must dissolve the parliament immediately. The cabinet and the cabinet must resign. The cabinet must resign. The parliament must be dissolved, and the president must name the elections date. That is what has to be done immediately. This was already supposed to be completed. It is not completed as yet, and I think the government has a responsibility to the people of Guyana to have this done immediately. The mere fact that you have growing number of persons out here every single week demonstrating and calling on the government to do this is a shame. It's a shame for Guyana, it's a shame for the cabinet, it's a shame for the president, that the international community, the world has to see this, that we have a government that seems bent on not adhering to the Constitution, not adhering to the rule of law, and not adhering to democratic norms. That is what is happening here.
The Ministry of Public Infrastructure has announced that a solar power farm will be developed at Akwini Village, Region 2, Pomeroon, Supernam. The Minister of Public Infrastructure, David Patterson, disclosed during a recent outreach to the community that the project will cost about $2.5 million, explaining that it will feature a 16-watt photovoltaic system. Minister Patterson said his office will examine the most suitable method to install the solar project, noting that the scattered layout of homes in the community may pose a challenge. Akawini comprises of approximately 1,000 residents. The village's main economic activity is lumbering. The Ghana Police Force today issued a wanted bulletin for Joseph Sargent, 38, also known as Joey, in connection with the murder of Terry Alt on July 21 in South Sophia, Greater Georgetown. Alt, a minor of Lot 63, Block A, South Sophia, was reportedly shot once to his neck at a pool party in the community in the wee hours of that morning. The last known addresses for Joseph Sargent, also known as Joey, are Lot 3458 Postal Housing Scheme, North Rhinebeck, and LH Stevedore Scheme, Tuckville, Squatting Area, Georgetown. Anyone with information that may lead to the arrest of Sargent is asked to contact the police on telephone numbers 226-6978, 225-8196, 911, or the nearest police station. All information will be treated with the strictest confidence. In light of recent media reports, it seeks to highlight that thousands of Haitians entered the country over the past few months with little evidence that they have left. Opposition leader JAGDEO is calling for a full-fledged investigation into this matter. According to reports, in January, 952 passengers arrived from Haiti. From February to July, it was 673, 345, 1,321, 2,010, 1,749, and 1,552, respectively. This is just over 8,600 Haitians who arrived in the last 7 months. It is alleged that these foreigners came to Ghana through Copa Airlines.
The immigration department should be investigated. When you come into Ghana, any Ghanaians, even, well, excepting us who are coming home, they have to fill up an immigration form, and it says intended address. I'd like to see where the 8,600, let's go through the forms and see what they placed on the immigration forms to say where their addresses are. You can't have every day, every 2 days, people putting an address like Sunflower Hotel when the place has maybe 25 rooms, or I don't know how many rooms it has, and 80 will say they're going every 2 days and they come here for 6 months and they're living at the hotel. Clearly there has to be collusion with some officials at immigration, because when a man comes into the country, you still go to immigration and say, where are you staying? You still have to go through that process. And they'll say, oh, I'm staying at a hotel or at a relative or something. And they must have seen this pattern every single day. This is more than hotel rooms that we have for people if they're staying at the hotel. That alone should say to immigration, you're coming to Ghana, you don't have an intended place to stay, so raise a red flag. But nothing has happened. 8,600 came in, they're going to Sunflower Hotel, etc. And I don't know where else. Taken there. So that's one. Two, we should have a full-fledged investigation of GRO.
The opposition has long claimed that government may be engaged in some form of human trafficking. The party alleged that the coalition government is granting thousands of Haitians and Cubans citizenship so they get voting rights for the impending elections. But government has rejected this.
And so we believe that people are being issued with fake documents. We believe that they are being registered quietly in some areas by some enumerators who might be close to APNU, since the activity is not being scrutinized. And therefore, many of these foreign nationals, not just Haitians but others, who are not eligible, because Commonwealth citizens who are here for over 1 year are eligible to be registered. But they will form part of the new voters list if house-to-house registration succeeds. It's illegal, but this is what I think, this is why APNO really wants the house-to-house registration, not because it will deliver a cleaner list. And I believe they got caught with the no confidence motion, and therefore there's a mad scramble to do this.
In June 2018, it was reported that several Haitians, both adults and children, were sent back to Haiti after it was suspected by the police that they were reportedly part of a human smuggling ring. The police had disclosed that the probe had found that some of the Haitians were entering Guyana to travel to other destinations and that they were doing this for organized reasons. Suriname's authorities have claimed that many Haitians have been traveling there by plane on their way to French Guiana, but they could not convince immigration authorities of their onward journey. Back in September of 2016, at least 12 Haitian men were caught inland, then heading to neighboring Brazil. EXXONMOBIL Ghana has provided some $15 million to SSYDR Inc., a non-for-profit organization, to roll out a job readiness program in several communities across the country. Employment Attack 102 is a summer camp geared at preparing young persons, including early school leavers, for the job market. Speaking at a press conference at the SSYDR office today, Executive Director Magda Wills explained that the overall intent is to fight ills plaguing vulnerable communities and youth. Open quote. There are communities with problems of systemic crime that we have chosen to target, as it is our firm belief that this will aid in Ghana's fight to development, a fight that can only be won with a reduction in youth vulnerability to poverty, crime, and violence, end quote, she posited. Youths are being exposed to a 4-week interactive training process and 1 week of web development training. After the training, SSYDR coaches will work with each person to develop life plans, then assist them with securing employment or other livelihood opportunities within a month of the training completion. This is the third related initiative on which EXXONMOBIL Ghana has partnered with SSYDR. In 2017, a $4 million Guyana contribution was made for job readiness skills training in the Leport Street area. Then in 2018, some $12 million was granted to support the first Employment Attack 102 job readiness camp. Close to 400 youths from regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10 have benefited so far. Meanwhile, SSYDR has indicated its intent to take this program to the hinterland communities. Despite the many criticisms that the current administration has received regarding bad policy decisions, Prime Minister and First Vice President Moses Nagamootoo feels that his government has done a lot to improve the lives of Guyanese by creating avenues for them to participate in their own development. The Prime Minister made this statement during a live radio program today.
20 years, there was no local government elections. This is a shame I talk about. It is a shame that you have the opposition now, who was the government, decided to get rid of this system of grassroots democracy, participatory democracy. Our constitution says that we are an inclusive nation. Article 13 of our constitution talks about inclusivity, involvement of the people, and you didn't have local government elections. So the first thing that was done, President Granger, I remember, even before we joined the alliance, the AFC joined up with the APNU. He was like a lone ranger picketing outside of the office of the president, picketing JAGDEO and Ramotar for local government elections, whole local government elections, and they ignored him. And not only did we have local government elections after we got into government, we have two. We had 2 local government elections.
The Prime Minister said that the opening of new tongues was aimed at establishing administrative centers where people can access government services, moving away from the decentralized system.
So if nothing could be said about the leadership this country has been provided, it is the content of people's involvement. It is the fact that we respect the independence of people and their ability to do things to improve their own communities. And that will help to promote the quality of life of our people. And we want to work in this partnership model. This government will work and has been working in a partnership model with the local authority, the regional systems, the municipal system, and the central government. We are working together as the four pillars of our democracy. In cooperation, of course, we work with the judiciary, the court, and with the parliament. This country has a beautiful democracy that is based on people's power and people's involvement. It is one of the best countries in the world for its standard of involvement of people in public life.
And in other news, Guyana will mark another Emancipation Day celebration tomorrow, August 1, 2019, with mainly Afro-Guyanese partaking in many social events planned for the day. Already hundreds of persons from across many communities flocked to the capital city of Georgetown to purchase their traditional African wear, food, and arts and craft for the day's celebration. Globespan 24x7 News took its cameras to the streets and managed to speak with a few persons about their plans for tomorrow and vendors about their sales.
My name is Claire Richards. I'm of Cool Rap Designs, been in existence for over 18 years now. Do all 100% local designs, local sewing, local fashion. So we've been around for a while.
What has been the sale like for pre-emancipation?
Pre-emancipation, like 2 years, 3 years ago, used to be awesome, but right now with the competition of all the Chinese and stuff, so it's not all that as it used to be a couple of years ago, but I mean, it's okay. It's okay.
And what are your plans for emancipation?
My plans for emancipation is to probably work at home and then go into the park later.
Tell us a bit about your products you have here.
Okay, all my products are locally done by me. From start to finish. I use mostly Kente fabrics, whatever local fabrics I could put my hands on to do my designs, male, female, children, and I produce year-round, not only emancipation time, all year.
Thanks for your time.
Another vendor from Nigeria who now lives in Ghana had the opposite to say.
Fashion name is Moonshine Fashions and Designer. Yeah, it's been so wonderful, very good. A lot of people turn out to buy things. I mean, for the past 1 week, it's like, I mean, everyone are just smiling. So I really thank God. May God continue to bless Guyana citizen and the government and everyone in general. Actually, I really thank God for another emancipation to make me alive. So my plans is like after getting off today, the work is tomorrow. I'm going to be at the National Park to witness, because this is going to be my second emancipation in Guyana. And I love the first one, and I believe the second one is going to be more greater, because it's like I saw my culture here. And so I love Africans' culture, and it's make me feel like I feel at home, like I'm home away from home.
A senior citizen who spoke with this newscast also had a positive message for all Guyanese on Emancipation Day.
My plans to be enjoy myself for the years I am alive. I'm big, and thank God that we could live to see this day of the emancipation and the celebration of our heritage. we still practicing. The only thing that we ain't got is this semi-slavery. Still going on a little bit, but not so much. But we still acknowledge the culture, acknowledge to be what we is, and a united, cooperative country, which we know we got Indian and black, and we supposed to be together. But they're trying to divide us, but we still holding on. We cannot divide from one another. We're born like that.
Guyanese shopping on Regent Street, Georgetown were also treated to beautiful African drumming. We will take a short break. Please stay tuned.
We would like to ask all of our faithful viewers to kindly like and follow Globespan 24x7 Facebook page and subscribe to Globespan 24x7 YouTube channel to receive up-to-date notifications of when we are live. Globespan 24x7 has vacancies for full-time positions such as reporters, newscasters, and news editors. Persons serious about joining a new and dynamic news team are asked to send their application to careers@globespantechnology.com. Globespan 24x7 has some exciting news. As of August 10th, the social and community programs will move from Sunday at 12:30 p.m. to Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Don't miss it.
Thanks for staying with us. We now take a look at our regional and international news. Regionally, the Dominican government said that it intends to bring to Parliament legislation that will allow for the regulated controlled use of marijuana for medical uses. According to the Prime Minister of Dominica, Roosevelt Skerrit, there have been widespread national consultation on the issue, with the topic along with debates in the media. However, he gave no specific date as to when the legislation will be tabled. The government will therefore propose that the possession of not more than 28.35 grams will be decriminalized. The PM also stated that this measure would affect many citizens in a positive way, referring to the persons arrested with the uses of marijuana cigarette that haunts their records for years. It said that on the Democratic Republic of Congo's border with Rwanda, raising fears that the deadly illness could spread. The artisanal miner died this morning in the city of Goma, home to 2 million people, authorities said. More than 1,600 people have died of Ebola in the Democratic Republic of Congo since the outbreak began in August of 2018, but those have been in more remote areas. The World Health Organization called it a global health emergency last week. It is the highest level of alarm the WHO can sound and has only been used 4 times previously, including the Ebola epidemic that devastated parts of West Africa from 2014 to 2016 and killed more than 11,000 people. We'll now take a look at sport. Karen Ramsamy has been re-elected as president of the WHIM National Cricket Club. Ramsamy obtained 70% of the votes casted to defeat Pepe Charan. Charan was elected as the lone vice president and would assist Ramsamy to administer the affairs of the club for the next 2 years. Other elected officials include Tony Dukraj as secretary, Tamishwar Harinarayan as treasurer, and Devin Venkia as the assistant secretary treasurer. Ramsamy stated that he was prepared to lead by example to make WHIM one of the best cricket clubs in Berbice. He also revealed his plan that he has in mind, including attracting new membership, repairs to the club's pavilion, a massive fundraising drive, and the opening of a bank account for the club. And finally, DILLIAN White has been provisionally suspended by the WBC as the organization interim world heavyweight champion and mandatory challenger to Deontay Wilder. On July 20, 2019, White tested positive for a banned substance before he beat Oscar Rivas in London. However, it is not known what the banned substance is at this time. White has been #1 ranked with the WBC behind American champion Wilder for more than 600 days. He was cleared to take part in the fight with Colombian rivals, which he won points after attending an independent panel hearing. White served a 2-year suspension from 2012 to 2014 for unknowingly taking an illegal supplement, and he could face an 8-year ban if he is found to have breached rules again. That has brought us to the end of today's news. Before we go, here's a recap of our major headlines. GECOM urges citizens to desist from threatening field staff. JAGDEO calls for Immigration Department and the GRO to be investigated. Police issue wanted bulletin for suspect in SOPHIA murder probe. Government says $2.5 million solar system project slated for Akwini. And Guyanese prepares for 2019 emancipation celebrations. Thank you for watching Globespan 24x7 News. On behalf of myself, Samuel Sukhnandan, the news and technical team, we would like to extend happy emancipation to all our viewers. Until next time, do have a great evening.